writing the book, in case you didn't know. Jesse Thackeray, I was there the other day. Been there a couple times. This time of year at Jesse Thackeray and at Mount Daniel, if the kindergartners and the preschoolers can walk in a line and get from point A to point B, you've had great success. And I would say that our kids were doing an amazing job sort of learning the procedural routines of the school, having a lot of fun and enjoying. In kindergarten today, and yesterday was the first day our kindergartners went to and from the bus without an escort, and that was also a big milestone for our kindergartners at Mount Daniel, and I'm very proud of them for that. Anyway, lots of good stuff happening at those two schools, at Thomas Jefferson, Mary Ellen Henderson, and George Mason. Our students continue to find their way, adjust to their schedules, engaging with teachers. We had a successful back-to-school night at George Mason the other night. We will have the back-to-school night tomorrow night at Mary Ellen Henderson, which will be a lot of fun, and looking forward to some great events coming up this fall. So with that, Madam Chair, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on and do our board and student liaison comments, starting with...
Could I just ask one quick question of Dr. Noonan?
Yeah.
So Dr. Noonan, things are a little different tonight in the last meeting here with respect to who's sitting where, and there may be some questions in the community about, so what's going on here? And I was wondering if you could just explain to the community what's going on.
I could make a quip and say, I wanted to be as far, oh no. So it's an interesting question that you raise. So I've been fortunate enough to have been a superintendent in another school division, and also been a chief academic officer in another school division. And when I came to the City of Falls Church and the superintendent sat next to the chair, it was an unusual placement, I thought, for where a superintendent sat. It was always superintendent always sat on the end in all the other divisions that I've ever been in. And so when I came and I sat in the middle, when we were in the old chambers, and then when we went to central office and I sat in the middle, and we came into the new space here, I checked in with the chair and vice chair and said, what do you think about me sitting at the end? And my rationale for it truly was that I'm part of your team. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, I'm also your employee, and you are the team. And I think that by moving off to the side and allowing the 7 of you to operate as a team and me to serve as a resource, I'm better positioned, I think, to support you and to support your work of working interdependently and together as a team, rather than sitting in the middle and being the focal point. At a board meeting, my personal philosophy is that the board should be the focus, because it's your work and I'm here to support you in any way that I can. And I also, from a purely operational perspective, I can see all of you when I'm here, and it actually is easier for me to present to you from the end than it is from the middle as well. So I thought we'd try it. And if the board's uncomfortable with it, or if time goes by and I get uncomfortable with it, or if the chair says, you know, I really want to have you right by my side because I want to be able to lean over and ask you questions, I'm certainly open to making an adjustment at any point. But really, my rationale behind it was to move down so that you all could really be seen as the board team, and I was here as your support. I'm on the dais. I'm part of the team. I don't want to sit on the floor, to be honest, so please don't make me sit on the floor. But I am here as your employee, and I'm here to support you.
That's good. Thank you for explaining that. And I just didn't want people to think that you've been put in the penalty box or something over there. So
thanks for the opportunity.
All driven by Dr. Noonan. We're very supportive of wherever he wants to sit, except on the floor.
Thanks.
So we'll now move on to our board and student liaison comments. We'll start with Mr. Castillo.
Unfortunately, I missed the daycare advisory board shipping a child off to school. So things are ramping up, getting off the fall, but I don't have anything to report right now.
The special ed committee has not yet met either. 2 weeks from now, though, I will be going to the VSBA legislative session, so hopefully be getting some ideas in that about what might be coming up. And I think if all of you guys can begin to think if there's any issues you feel you need addressed in the state legislature, we can begin to think about that. So let me know.
So the band boosters have not yet had their first meeting of the year. That's next Monday, and I'll be there for at least part of it. But I would like to highlight had a really good first day, and thank you to Dr. Noonan and to Mr. Bates, and thank you, Aaron. Walking around and seeing the schools on the first day, it really was a very smooth start. It was really a fun thing for me personally because I was able to ask, what are you looking for? And I asked that of everybody that I interacted with, what are you in your role, what are you looking for to judge the process of this? And it was a chance to see the schools and how they operate from the eyes of the people who are in them in a way that's different from the way that we can normally do it. So to me, that meant a lot. And thank you for the opportunity for that. And I was at the back-to-school night at Mason, and it was quite well attended. And I would say I would definitely am going with Mr. Renninger on this one, that the standard-based grading discussion next week will be very helpful. But overall, I think it was really quite a turnout. And then it was fun, always is fun watching us parents trying to navigate the halls. It looks a bit like salmon interacting with each other.
If I can just take a second, just to be responsive a little bit to the question that both of you have raised. Certainly, it's come to our attention that there was an expectation with respect to what was going to be presented in the cafeteria regarding standards-based grading that perhaps wasn't met. There was an email that came out the day following from the principal that outlined that there will be 6 upcoming dates for parents to be able to come in and to learn about standards-based grading. So those should be on the calendar of all of our parents, and then we'll continue. The principal and Mr. Hills and Peter Lobb and his team will continue to put out information as well as the teachers. So I think there's recognition that the mark was missed there, and more information will be forthcoming. I do also think that the work session will be really helpful to all of you, and we'll also share those dates with the school board so that you all know when those meetings are coming up as well.
So I'll briefly mention a couple of things. One, I also had a chance to enjoy back to school night, and the need for the new high school was never more clear to me than when I had to travel from, I forget if it was A or D, to the farthest classroom in F. And I did not even realize that there were classrooms. I mean, I knew there were classrooms in F, but apparently if you go down that one stair, there's actually another stair you can go down for like a set of 3 classrooms. And I was at, one of my kids has a class at the very end of that, and you kind of felt like you were in outer Mongolia. The other thing, no meetings of my advisory committee groups that I've been able to attend yet. With the normal challenges of arranging the bus schedules and the sizes, we've managed to do something that I've never thought was possible, which is I now have a kid walking to school and a kid riding his bike to school. So that's the bus was too crowded for them. So that's a great achievement. Thank you.
So I have to add my own commentary about back to school night. I do think that this one went very smoothly overall and on a personal high. It was a step up for me. Last year, I actually managed to somehow go out some door, ended up outside, locked out, and that was pretty much the end of the night because I realized I would never find my way back in. So I made a huge improvement this year. The only committee, or only, I guess, board that I've met with so far is the Education Foundation, and their big thing, of course, is the Run for the Schools, which is this Sunday, 8 a.m., and so whoever can make it, run, walk, or I guess William can hobble. We could carry him, I don't know. So yeah, whoever can show up, that would be fantastic, and I know that they'd really appreciate it. It should be a fun time. I think the weather should be nice, though a little hot, but not at 8 a.m., so definitely make the time to attend the Run for the Schools.
Also want to thank my escort on first day back to school, Ms. Michael. And yes, I did fit in her car. We rode around town to visit the schools, and it's always a fun time to go see our schools back in action in full swing on the first day and see everyone kind of happy, excited to see one another and just getting back into the swing of things. I was unable to make the athletic boosters meeting last night because of a work conflict, but we'll be making that for next month.
Great. As everyone said, it was a great first day of school. As I said to a friend of mine, I wish every parent, especially those of us who have kindergartners, could see how safe and well cared for their kids were on the first day of school and how happy everyone was. It was such a privilege to see that. And I think, a lot of parents were a bit nervous about sending their kids off. If they saw what was happening in those classrooms, they would just, they would just be in awe. It was just lovely. I was at the chamber meeting this morning. Just a reminder to support our local small businesses because the trend in Falls Church right now is to larger corporate chains. So if you like your small businesses, please keep going and supporting them the way they support us as well through BIE. And with that, we have minutes to approve. I would seek unanimous consent to approve the minutes of June 11th and June 18th, unless someone needs to abstain. Okay. We've got some events to attend. Please let Ms. Litton know if you will be in attendance at the events. And otherwise, we are going to move into our second closed meeting of the night. And I think we're going to try to stay here then. So if someone would please read us into closed. And we will not come out of this close into further business items. So.
At this point, Madam Chair, I'm going to invite the staff and myself
Yes.
to leave, so you'll be alone.
Great.
All right, just lock up when you leave.
Okay,
Madam Chair, pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, I move that the board convene a closed meeting for the following purpose: to discuss or consider the identified subject matter, personnel under 2.23711A1, in particular, superintendent's contract.
Thank you, Mr. Reitinger. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Ms. Litton. All those in favor? Or no? Thank you. You got the roll.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Aye.
Ms. Gill?
Aye.
Ms. Litton? Mr. Reitinger?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
And Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.